Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
Great, great, sir. How you doing?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
No, it's my pleasure to have you. First of all, I would like to say I see some people on the real estate market, and you're one of them. And this will be like the tone of the conversation will be very casual. I know people will be asking you about real estate all day long. That's your work, so maybe we can talk about something different here.
Sure.
So, and first of all, thanks for accepting the invite. Thanks for coming on the podcast. And let me just introduce myself first to you. So, my name is Abhishek and I'm from India. Currently, and the this is the right time for this podcast. You know why? Just 1 month back, I joined a real estate company and I joined as their CMO. And I haven't done anything about real estate. So this would be the best time to get some learnings from the man himself. So uh, uh, I think, first of all, sir, I would like to ask you, I mean, what was your upbringing and how did you end up here? How did you, like, from where, I mean, where have you come? You have become the president and founder of the current capital group. So how's the journey been from starting till today?
All right. Well, I'll try and make it as brief as I possibly can. But, I didn't start off in real estate. When I graduated
Hmm.
college, I became a stockbroker, and that was the mid 1990s. And everybody
Hmm.
wanted to be on Wall Street because it was the hot place, the sexy place, and you made a lot of
Yeah.
money. But I didn't really like the idea that you only got paid commissions and you only
Hmm.
got paid if you procured a deal. So I was always looking for some sort of a business line that would pay me while I sleep. And that was very popular then. Today they call it the cash flow. But
Hmm.
back then it was money while you sleep. And I looked at a
Hmm.
lot of different businesses. I always tell people I looked at buying a chain of ATMs. I looked at buying franchise businesses. And I even looked at buying several hundred payphones, which would have been a complete disaster. But I looked at everything.
Yeah.
And I always knew real estate, you collect rents, and it seemed like a good investment. So I said, you know what? It looks like a good model. So I bought
Hmm.
a piece of property and I really bought it not intending to go into the real estate business. I bought it as if I use my money and buy real estate, I could retire one day off this. But I bought my first property. It had 7 tenants, and out of the 7 units, three of them were vacant, and there was four existing. Those four tenants didn't have leases because it was a foreclosure. So I renewed their leases. I cleaned the building up a little bit. I found three new tenants, and within 6 months, I refinanced the building. I got all my money back out of it, and the property was cash flow positive. And I said, this is something good. So
Yeah.
I started buying another and another and another every, as often as I could with the money.
Hmm.
And then in about 2000, 1999, 2000, the tech bubble burst. Stocks
Yeah.
weren't so great anymore. And I was paying people more money to manage my properties than I was earning as a stockbroker. So I said, I guess I'll retire and just manage my properties. So that's what I ultimately did. And then I went into the real estate business. And that's where I also started helping other people. And that's when I established my current capital group to do third party management and leasing. So we grew both. And I kind of, like I said, stumbled into it.
Got it. Now, and that's quite have been like a long journey, I believe, because and was this your like the first venture you started, or have you done any other businesses before, like small businesses or stuff?
I didn't have any small businesses, but I was always in business, so to speak, by meaning that
Okay.
when I was a
Mm-hmm.
little kid, I would wash cars. I did it for myself. So I would find the
Mm-hmm.
person who wanted their car washed. I lived in an apartment community. So I'd wash
Mm-hmm.
my neighbors' cars. I'd wash their boats. I always did little hustle kind of businesses like that, where it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a professional business per se, but I kind
Yeah.
of got paid whatever I did. I never really had a job where I got a salary. That I didn't have.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. Got it. And also, like, you told your story that you got house, you got like lease on that and all that. But there's like this big argument in today's world that should you buy your house or not, and is this a good investment? Because you see, especially in cities like New York, Manhattan, or Chicago, the prices are like off the charts for the
Mhm.
real estate. So, do you think is it like worthy buying properties there just for the business side of things?
So my answer with that always stays the same. Owning a home is not an investment. And far
Yeah.
too many people consider it. I bought a house that's going to be worth so much more one day. But one, you don't really know that. It depends on the time of the cycle you're going to sell it, if it's an upcycle or down. And the markets go up and down. We can't look at 4 years. We got to look at 200 years to see that data. And then the
Hmm.
second thing is it's not an investment because you're paying it with your money. And I try to teach this to so many people, but some people, it's like you crash into a wall because they come back with the argument, yeah, but you're giving the landlord all the money and you have nothing to show for it. And you're trying to explain that I have everything to show for it. You do. I just pay less to live there because
Mhm.
you pay more and all you're doing is paying off a loan. I could take that money and utilize it elsewhere. So you're giving the bank interest just like I'm giving a landlord rent. So
Mhm.
owning a home is not a good investment. However, yes, I even know people who bought homes in Miami, 25 years ago for $500,000, which was a lot of money then, that are worth 10
Mhm.
million today. So
Yeah.
you're always going to hear those stories that get people excited. But with that said, I'm not anti-home ownership. I think the security of owning a home, especially when you have
Mhm.
young children or a family, it's the greatest thing. You don't want to have to move around all the time. However, it's not an investment. So it's something
Mhm.
you should have, but understand this is not a retirement plan for you. This is just something you
Mhm.
want, like a boat or a car. It's one more thing you have.
Yeah. No, for sure. And also like I work with a company and the company is like situated in New York City.
Mhm.
So I have some friends there and I was speaking to one of my friend about how's the real estate market in Austin, Texas, because I see houses are beautiful and it is like very less priced. And I mean, I think you get like a good like you get a good ROI on that. And also the value is good. The thing you're getting for the amount of money you're spending, you're getting a great property. And
Sure.
also, you see nowadays, the great podcaster, Mr. Joe Rogan, he lives in Austin, Texas. Elon Musk, he lives in Austin, Texas. So there's this, I see that a whole bunch of people are coming there and like building this community. So
Yeah.
what do you think about, I mean, this Austin, Texas, and basically the Texas side of things in America, and how's that market, and also is that place safe to live and all those kind of things?
So I don't know Austin very well. I know
Hmm.
Texas and I know Dallas. My daughter goes to school in
Hmm.
Dallas. So the entire state of Texas is doing very, very well. And
Hmm.
you're 100% right now. If you bought a house and made it a rental property, that is an investment because the tenant's
Hmm.
paying your bills for you. I love states like that. I love the whole Sunbelt area. You could buy in South Florida if you could get a decent deal. Now, the problem we have with housing is there's a shortage of housing. So let's say that I'm married and have three little kids and I want to live in a certain neighborhood where you want to buy an investment property. I'm going to overpay for the property because I need to live there and that's my kids are going to go to school and that might be where my church is, and that maybe my doctor is. And you as an investor want to get the same deal, but you can't compete with me because for me to overpay 10%, I'm going to live there for 20 years. And
Hmm.
that's what knocks a lot of investors out of these deals. And they say that buyers are overpaying, but there's no inventory. Now, when you get into houses like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, you're talking about mansions in many tens of millions of dollars. That's a
Yeah.
different demographic. But
Hmm.
even those are still selling for very high prices because a billionaire wants something, they're just going to pay. So
Yeah.
for you as an investor, if you say I want to buy this $30 million house and your competition is Elon Musk, I urge you to walk away as quick as possible.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
compete. So
Totally.
that's the only problem with buying the houses as investments. Your competition is real tough.
Hmm. No, no, totally. Yeah, I get that. And also, one more thing about real estate. So, I mean, when I joined the real estate company, I've been like kind of researching about real estate a lot. So I came across the rental yield. And what is the rental yield in New York, as per se?
The rental, I'm sorry.
The rental yield on a property. I mean, how much can you get? I mean, let's say you buy a condo for $1 million. What is the rent you can expect per month on
You
that?
know, that depends on so many variables from location. In New York, is it a walk up? Is there a doorman? Is it on a main street? I mean, there's so
Okay.
many things that go into that. But
Hmm.
generally speaking, if you're going to buy an
Hmm.
apartment, a condo, or anything, first off, you got to be careful in New York because many buildings have big time restrictions. If it's a co
Hmm.
op, you're not going to be able to rent it at all.
Yeah,
And a
yeah.
lot of buildings have different restrictions, but generally speaking, your return on that apartment would be less than leaving your money in a 5% money market account. You're
Hmm.
hoping for appreciation in the unit and you're hoping for good tax write-offs and depreciation from your expenses. But your return is not going to be 6, 7, 8% off a condo in New York City. It's just not going to be that.
Hmm. So, but one can expect a return of like 3 to 4%.
Again, it depends on the building.
Mm-hmm.
What
Got
I'm
it.
referring to your return would be cash flow. What you could hope
Mm-hmm.
is because New York is still, in my opinion, I'm always there. I was
Mm-hmm.
just there last weekend. It's still the capital of the world.
Yeah.
So your hope is that this $1 million apartment is going to appreciate at 5 to 7% a year, 5 or 6% a year. So in addition to the small amount of cash flow you're getting, the unit keeps appreciating. And if
Mm-hmm.
that's happening, your global return will be great when you go to sell it.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in places like New York City. I think the real estate will
Mm-hmm.
continue to go up, and more of the world wants to come to New York, so it'll keep doing well.
No, no, totally. And I mean, just now you said that the whole world wants to come to New York because it's the American dream and it starts with California or New York. I mean, there are
Yeah,
just two cities in the world
yeah.
which from where people can see like big dreams, even when they are like very small and grounded. So this also gets me thinking, what do you think about like Trump winning and Trump's like getting elected and now he'll be head for 4 years? So what do you think about that?
Well, my favorite thing about this election is that it was decisive. The biggest
Yeah.
fear that I had is that it was going to be very close and this was going to
Mm-hmm.
become a lot of chaos and a lot of lawsuits, and we wouldn't know who the president was going to be for 5 weeks. And
Mm-hmm.
that was what I was truthfully concerned with because I too watched the news and it was neck and neck and it was so close.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Donald Trump won so big, whether you voted for him or not, if you believe in the system of the United States, your
Mm-hmm.
president has now won not
Mm-hmm.
just the delegates, he won the popular vote, which hasn't been done in
Yeah.
over 20 years. So the country has spoken. This is the president. If you're in real estate, you obviously would support Donald Trump because he's much better for real estate than Kamala Harris would have been.
Yeah.
But even if you don't like Donald Trump's actions, you'd have to recognize that what's happening in the government with the ridiculous amount of spending that's going on and
Yeah.
nothing is getting accomplished, that has to stop. This
Mm-hmm.
man has not even been, he's the president elect for 1 week, and he's already
Mm-hmm.
talking about all the ways that he's going to eliminate
Yeah.
waste. And,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very into finance, but people don't pay attention to is that, we were spending about 4.5 trillion a year before COVID. We're spending like 6 trillion a year.
Yeah.
So we need to reel some things back. And that does relate to real estate because when the government
Mm-hmm.
has to borrow all this money, that makes your car loan, that makes your house loan, that makes your credit card interest rate higher because you're competing with the US government. We
Mm-hmm.
have to reel that in. And I honestly do believe Donald Trump can get that done.
No, no, totally, totally. And so I mean, it's obvious you must have voted for Trump, right? And if we move the cards backwards, what do you think? I mean, when Biden was in charge, did he do a good job?
You know, as a person, I would
Mm-hmm.
love the opportunity to meet someone like Joe Biden. I think he's a remarkable man. I think he's a true patriot. He gave his
Mm-hmm.
entire life to public service. And
Mm-hmm.
if you look at Joe Biden, this is a man who lost his wife, and I believe she was a 1 year old or a very early daughter in a car accident. He raised two boys on his own. He commuted over 3 hours a day for a government job. I think
Yeah.
he deserved to be the president for that, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think he should go back and run this term. I actually do believe
Mm-hmm.
that if he hadn't run and he
Mm-hmm.
gave the Democrats more time, they could have come up with the real candidate that would have given him a chance to win. But he kind of wanted to be president. I think he's just a little too old. So I have no
Yeah.
problem with him as a human being. I just think he
Mm-hmm.
kind of lost his edge. I mean, I think he's 80 or 82 years old. Like,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
comes a point in time that we need someone younger. And I'm not thrilled with Donald Trump's age either, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
clearly has his brain together a little bit more and his
Mm-hmm.
energy together a little more. But I would love to see a president right around 55 to 65 years old. I think that's the sweet spot right there.
No, totally. And this is one thing. I was talking with Keaton Hoskins. He's one of the Diesel brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was also asking him the same question that I mean, and this was like probably like before, like way before the elections. So
Mm-hmm.
I was asking him that who do you like much like Joe Biden or Trump? So he said that he likes Trump, but the thing is they're both too old to be president. So he would also like to see someone like 45, 50,
Yeah,
55 to be the president of like United States of America. And
yeah.
did you hear the news about like Trump making this new organization, a Doge with
Yeah,
Elon Musk?
yeah.
So What do you
and
think about
Vivek.
that? Yeah,
I
yeah,
think he also has
yeah,
Vivek, who's
Vivek.
another brilliant mind too. I think it's
Hmm.
exactly what we need. I mean, what we know about Trump is he's a businessman,
Yeah.
and he's going to run the country like a business. And the truth is, this country it's becoming a little bit way too entitled, and everybody
Hmm.
wants something. And we got to cut this stuff back, and we have to start getting some things done if we want to stay a global superpower. So I love that he's taking action like that. I don't know how involved Elon Musk is going to get because he's so preoccupied with other things. I think
Yeah,
Vivek
yeah.
is brilliant for it. I think
Hmm.
Elon's going to put his 2 cents in,
Hmm.
and I am a huge Elon Musk fan, but I don't
Yeah,
know
me
that he's a
too. Hmm.
business savvy guy. I think he's a brilliant engineer and a brilliant inventor, but Vivek
Hmm.
is brilliant when it comes to business. So I think they'll get some stuff done.
No, no, totally.
All of it, I don't know. I mean, no one
Mhm,
gets all of it done, but there's a
mhm,
lot of trimming of the fat we could do.
mhm. No, no, totally. And also now, if the talk is about real estate, there's one name I had to bring, and that is Grant Cardone.
Mm-hmm.
And why I bring that is because, see, you're in the market, you're in the US market, you have your own
Mm-hmm.
company, you know about things, you know about insiders, but sometimes people bullshit on internet, and you don't know who the real person is, who is not. So, from your perspective, what do you think about Grant Cardone and the guy is and the work he does? So, what would you say about him?
You know, I have no problem with Grant Cardone. I actually have had the pleasure of meeting him. He's a very nice guy. He's a
Hmm.
very good schmoozer. He plays his cards
Hmm.
right. What I know about Grant is Grant truly believes he's helping the little guy by allowing them to invest in deals. I don't agree with that mindset because I'm afraid the little guy needs access to their money and doesn't exactly know what they're buying. So I wouldn't do a deal with the kind of people he's doing a deals with. I feel that these people don't really have experience and don't understand the true risks. And they're investing because it's so easy because he'll take $1,000. But that
Hmm.
$1,000 to you is worth a lot more money than it is to a multimillionaire investor who could
Yeah,
really buy
yeah,
a deal. But I am 100% convinced that Grant truly believes he's helping the little guy because he's like, I was the little guy and nobody cared.
yeah,
With
yeah.
that being said, he became the big guy. So it's
Hmm.
kind of hard. It's like, well, you've gotten super rich on the back of the little guy. But you
Hmm.
know what? He's very upfront about what he does. He does give full disclosure to his deals and what they
Hmm.
are. And people are free to invest and they're free to
Yeah.
do what they want.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't run a deal the same way, but I don't have any problem with him doing it. I mean, I know there's a lot of speculation of all sorts of things with his name tied to it, but
Yeah, yeah.
in the last 5, 6 years that he's really blown up his business and done fantastic. I think there's been one lawsuit by someone who inherited $5,000 worth of stock in one of his deals. So
Oh. Hmm.
people aren't unhappy yet, I guess.
Hmm. Got it. And you just mentioned that. I mean, he was a small guy. Now he's a big guy, and he's like giving this like kind of, you can say, a deal to like small guys to invest in all these properties. So
Yep.
I mean, and it's a thing when people think about getting rich, real estate is always on the list that I can do real estate. It's on
Yep.
like everyone's list. But how do you think a person who doesn't have like much money, you can say he must have like 10, 15K to invest and he saved that up. Should he go into real estate, first of all? And if he can, or if he does, so how should he go about it? Anyone?
So that is exactly the Grant Cardone investor because everyone thinks they can get rich off of real estate. So if they have
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 to their name, they give it to Grant and expect to get rich. The problem is if you give them 10 grand, you may get $400 a year in distributions and your 10 grand is locked up. So they
Mm-hmm.
don't really get rich, is the truth. They're getting a small distribution. There's so many great ways to invest that are better than that. I'm not trying to hurt his business, but for that, I think you're better off buying stock in, say, like, I mean, I own full disclosure stock in Public Storage,
Mm-hmm.
buy stock in Kimco. So even though you don't get all the benefits of owning the real estate, if you believe in real estate, you could invest. Certainly, if you only have 10 or $15,000, the only way you're going to do a deal is if you get partners and put some people together. And you
Mm-hmm.
can buy real estate with no money if you could find a good deal and you know how to operate it. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't need the money to become a good operator. You have to learn the business. And I have several property managers who've worked for my company and they really understand real estate. And some of them have gone on to buy real estate and bring on partners because now they have the expertise on how to be the operator. And the operator comes ahead of anything. The deal, the operator, and then
Mm-hmm.
the money.
So, I mean, if someone don't have the money. So is it safe to say that you can, I mean, just enter into the market or be part of a company or be a realtor and just get your money from all the commissions like selling real estate and first build your capital and then go out like building your own properties or like building your own stuff.
Yeah, I mean, look, I won't kid anybody. If you have no money, you're not getting into real estate. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a fact. I mean, you're going to have to find a path. I tell
Mhm.
everybody when I meet, I have the privilege of meeting a lot of young people in their early
Mhm.
20s, even teenagers, and I tell them all, from the moment you could have your real estate license, you should get your real estate license. And where you should focus your time and attention to is selling properties that you want to one day own. And I mean, if you
Mhm.
want to be the owner of multifamily houses, start becoming a broker specializing in multifamily housing. Don't go sell apartment buildings, don't go sell warehouses. And
Mhm.
what that'll do for you is you'll start to learn what buyers look for, what sellers look for, what tenants look for, what cities allow what, and you'll become an expert in that market. So when you come across a deal that makes sense for you and you do have the money, you're ready to strike. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think being a realtor is a terrific thing if you take it seriously.
Mhm. And I mean, you started like pretty early in the real estate market. And
Yep.
nowadays, if you see, social media is a big thing. I mean, most people make their money from social media. I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about specifically just selling real estate on social media. They like
Mm-hmm.
show their properties, they make good videos of it. Some people put them on YouTube and get their views from that. So,
Yep.
how do you think the market has changed on like just purely based on the how you sold back then and how you sell now? And how can someone sell in today's day and age like most efficiently?
Well, I'm going to tell you, if you want to be in the real estate game, you need to be on social media. All the
Mm,
agents that work with us, because we do have an in-house brokerage division too, and everything has to be on social media. And you're 100% right. We actually had one of the agents here sold a property. He had a very, very small following, but he posted it. He made it public. Somebody saw it, shared it with somebody else. The person made an offer, and the deal went contract and sold. Never even
yeah,
met the guy before this, and never would have known to reach out to this total stranger if it wasn't for that. Now, not only does he have a client and a buyer, but social media did it for him for free, for
no,
free.
totally.
So he doesn't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars on
Mm-hmm.
advertising. He has his own drone, he has his own stuff. He's a young broker, and he put it all together. So that really is the future. And you're right, because if you were going to list your house for sale and you're neck and neck between two agents, and one agent comes in, and they have to be real followers, and he says, well, I don't even have social media. And the other guy comes in and says, I have 32,000 followers, and all my Instagram is all about selling houses.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're going to pick that guy because you're like, well, his reach is 32,000. If just 10% of them actually view this video, that's
Yeah, yeah.
3,200 people are going to see it
Mm-hmm.
versus this guy who's not even playing in the game. And you'll
Totally.
make that decision.
No, no, totally. And uh, I know that social media for realtors and anything, I mean, in today's days, not just realtors, for any business, it is like a great deal. And if you can have a good social media manager or social media strategist on your team, you should have. Because I'll tell you about this. When I started my journey, and I say this the money making journey because I never went to like the proper traditional path of like going to the college, getting a job. So when I was 16, I started with crypto trading. Crypto was like very hot back then, and I
Yeah.
started with crypto. Didn't know a thing about it, so lost it all. Then I moved to stock market trading because it's kind of like chilled out. So I made some amount of money there, but I just it was taking up a lot of mental space in my head. When you do like intraday trading, options trading, it takes a lot of space. And it's
Yeah.
also, I don't have like much capital, so it was not like very profitable. I mean, if you see it on the percentage side of things, it is good, but the capital is not good. So the percentage is like not good enough to sustain.
That's
So
right.
when I started my social media marketing agency, the first thing I did was like I reached out to architects and I reached out to real estate agents, and that was good because people got a lot of help from that. So I also think that social media plays like a great role, and in also I see this trend, and you can just add on to that that social media too. I mean, if you see just 5 years back, it was a lot more advertising on Facebook than content itself. And right
Mm-hmm.
now, it's very less advertising, but the content is the king as of now. So, what do you think about that?
I think it's fantastic. And
Yeah.
I think that if you go back, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, when social media was kind of getting going, you saw more people who had personal sites saying, look at me, I'm riding a horse today. Look at me, my boyfriend and I are getting engaged. Today, most people's social media accounts are geared to who they are and what they do. So if
Hmm.
I look people up, I could kind of see, okay, this person's into fitness, this person's a real estate agent, this person sells multi-million dollar houses in South Florida. You could kind of get like a total digital imprint of who they are. And that gives you like a background check because it has history. So if I want to scroll and say, well, who were they 20 months ago? I could just scroll and see what were they posting then.
Yeah.
Uh, as far as the ads go, it's the greatest way to reach people, And I could look at
Hmm.
these guys like Ryan Serhant or the Altman brothers. These
Hmm.
guys, their entire career is based on social media and reality TV, and they admit it. They're not hum. They're not saying that it's not.
Hmm.
Yes, they have to work hard. Yes, they have to do their job, but their access is just inexplainable to regular people. You take a
Hmm.
guy like that with 1 million followers, 1 million real followers on social media, and you're on a TV show. Everybody wants to give you their listing. It's just the fact of
Hmm.
life. They all because they know you have
Hmm.
the biggest reach and pool of buyers.
Yeah. Totally. And you're also about to touch just 100K on your Instagram. So uh, it's like 94 as of now, or it's 99?
Getting close, getting close. I think I have
Okay.
95,000 now. Yeah.
95. So I mean, in a matter of 2 weeks, you'll be in the 100K list. So
I'm
congrats on
hoping for that.
that.
I'm hoping. So all your
Hmm.
viewers, come on, follow me, help me get there. If
No,
you
for
would have
sure, for
asked me
sure.
3 years ago, I used to always make a
Hmm.
joke that I read it online. So it said having a lot of followers on social media is like having a lot of money in Monopoly. They're both fake, but
Mm.
that has changed. And now
Yeah.
I actually read, would you rather have 500,000 followers or $500,000? And I know I would say the 500,000 followers
No, no,
because
totally,
that'll
totally.
bring you so much access. And I get the privilege of meeting so many people. So I don't sell anything through social media, but my network and my access has just been extraordinary. I've only been doing it for just over a year.
Yeah.
And you get to meet so many wonderful people, and I get so many opportunities, and I've gotten to buy a property because of it. So I don't sell anything, but I've made my money back tenfold off the rewards of just, the people I've met, the deals I've come across, and the network I've built. So I'm very happy with it.
No, no, totally. And one thing which I like about this organic content and just showing the person you are. I mean, there are people, and I also think you are one of them, that you teach people about real estate. You never say you buy real estate from me or from my group, but I believe that people will be coming to you like from your socials. So that's one of the great things that you can just talk about yourself. You can just educate people, and people still come to you if you're like authentic and you're original. So that's great about the
Let me
content
just
side
say
of things.
that's actually why I kind of did it. So
Hmm.
I was in Italy about a year and a half ago, a summer a year and a half ago, and I came across a very well-known person. I'm not going to say their name, but very, very well known in
Amalfi
the real
Coast.
estate, the real estate training programs.
Hmm.
And we started having a conversation about real estate, and I was saying, but it doesn't sound like you buy anything. And he said,
Hmm.
it was a he. He said, I don't buy anything, I teach. And this person has programs where first you come in for like, $399. Then you can come
Hmm.
for like another program for like 5,000. And then you can come spend the whole weekend with him for $30,000. And he's going to teach you how to buy real estate, except he doesn't buy real estate. And you're seeing this lifestyle of this person with all the fancy things, and you're believing
Hmm.
he's a real estate person. And I'm going to tell you, it really bothered me. And I said,
Yeah.
truthfully, you're a fraud because people think
Hmm.
you're rich from real estate, but you're rich from teaching. Tell the truth.
Hmm.
So kind of didn't really get along over that, truthfully, but that motivated me because I have nothing for sale. I just had a young man come to my office, 26 years old, who I met, and he wanted to come to my office. I don't charge people for my time. I did write a book, Keeping It Real on Commercial Real Estate. I give
Yeah.
all the proceeds to charity because I make my money in real estate. I want
Hmm.
people to know there's people like me who will do this for you for free because we actually
Hmm.
want to help. And look, Ray Dalio does it. I mean, he's worth $30 billion
Hmm.
dollars. He's doing it for free. The Rock is giving you workout tips. People who really have a lot, they don't want to get
Yeah, the
paid.
give.
And if I'm lucky
Hmm.
enough to get something in return, hey,
Hmm.
terrific. But
Hmm.
I especially want the young generation and newer investors in real estate to know, be very careful who you're going to follow because they could be fake.
No, no,
So if
totally.
they're not selling you anything, they're pretty authentic. And there's a lot of
Hmm.
guys not selling. But if the idea is come to me and I'm going to teach you how to get rich, but I don't actually do that, stay away.
No, no, totally. And I call this model, this is my ideology. I call this model the Alex Hormozy model. Do you know about the guy, Alex Hormozy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so the best thing about him is he got so much knowledge and everything is logical when you see his
Yeah.
video. And when you see his videos, he just gives you knowledge and he doesn't sell you anything. Maybe
Right.
after a 2 hour video, he'll say in the last 10 seconds, if you have a business and you want to scale it up, go on the website and fill up the form. And that's
Right.
it.
Right.
So, I mean, there and then you can see that this guy is original and you can learn from him. And
He's
people see
terrific.
that
I like
today.
Alex.
Yeah.
I love watching his stuff.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah,
totally.
he's authentic. He's willing to
Hmm.
teach without requiring you to do something in return. So, like you
Yes.
said, you don't have to send him anything or
Mm-hmm.
buy anything, but he's going to give you all the content.
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying, I'm going to give you a little teaser and you got to come to my
Mm-hmm.
weekend course for $3,000 if you want to learn more. And when you come for the weekend, I'm going to sell you the $20,000 year program. He doesn't do that.
No,
And
no, yeah.
those are the guys that worry me.
And have you read his book?
Yes.
That is great. Those two books are one of the like the single best seller of books, I think, which can give you like the direct way of like looking at like sales and marketing.
Yeah.
I think that. Also, now we've talked about this a lot, and I talk about this to like many people, and some get along with this, some don't. And that is, what is your view on these woke people in today's day and age? And there are many in New York, especially. Uh, People like all this, like the LGBTQ stuff and all that, non-binary kind of things. What do you think about that?
You know, I'm a big believer of history and I love history. And
Mm-hmm.
if we go back to the days of the 60s and 70s, that became the generation, that's my parents' generation was 60s, that everybody wanted to find themselves and free love. And the pendulum swung that after college, these people were going to take 2 years and go find themselves and figure out life and backpack all over the world. And then they became hippies and do-gooders. And then the pendulum swung the other way and it became, the 80s and 90s, the days of, take no prisoners, greed is good, go out and make all the money and kill or be killed. So the pendulum swung the opposite way. So now it's swinging back this way, and it's we want a lot of free things. We want the government to give us
Mm-hmm.
everything. We want all the rights known to mankind. And you know what? It's going to swing back this way again. So if you live long enough, you see it all. Everything goes in cycles and goes in phases, and you just got to kind of live long enough to see them all.
Yeah. No, I see that. Because it's like it's nature, and so it's going to swing back to its like original state. But what do you think about like the main problem, and I see a lot of people talking about this. I saw on the Rogan podcast that back then, I mean, the gay people in today's day and age, they want to be left alone. They're gay, they accept that and they enjoy that. They just want to be left alone. But the problem is with the people who are forcing it on the childs. There are now people who are forcing on like very young childrens that if a boy is born, they cannot write his gender on his birth certificate until he identifies himself. So I think that is very like absurd thing. So and also
I've never heard that, so that I can't speak on that.
okay.
I've never heard that.
But are you aware about that? There are like 132 something genders in now.
I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not aware of
Mm-hmm.
most of this stuff because it doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
pertain to me in my life. So
Yeah.
there's always noise. What I find is because of social media, you could hear everything and you could hear very vicious people that just want to create chaos. But I honestly live in South Florida and I don't
Mm-hmm.
see anything so bad. I don't see anything so horrible. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of try and stay in my lane. If it doesn't really affect me or bother me, it's not really my problem. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to be happy. I don't want you to hurt me for you to be happy, but
Yeah.
I don't really know about it, a lot of this stuff because I'm going to be 52 years old next year. I know I'm a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
else wants to figure themselves out, knock yourself out. Be happy. But at
Mm-hmm.
this stage of my life, I've passed worrying about that.
No, no, totally, totally. And also now, I think we should wrap this up because when a meeting is online, if we were meeting in person, I would love to chat to you. 2 or 3 hours. But when it's online, I think a quick meeting is like always the best thing to have.
You go right to the point, sure.
Yeah, and at the last, what advice or like message you have for me and you would give me now that I'm in this real estate market like same as you. So do you have any like advice for me?
Yeah, the real estate market's tough, but it's
Hmm.
worth it. You got to keep doing the same basic principles every single day. And, I'm more focused towards people in the sales side of it. So whether you're trying to procure more clients for social media marketing, or whether you're trying to get clients to give you listings or find buyers, you have to be very aggressive and stick to it. So if you're going to make 50 contacts a day, you got to make 50 contacts 5 days a week. And if you miss a day, you got to do 100 the next day.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
consistency is the key. When you
Hmm.
break through and you start to get some success, it is like a snowball and picks up. So, like I said earlier, you get guys like Ryan Serhant. Ryan Serhant could never handle
Hmm.
all the listings he could get globally. He's set forever because of what he's done. But if you follow his story, when he got started in leasing, he didn't know his way around New York City and nobody wanted to talk to him. So the breakthrough is very hard. But once you break through and prove you're professional and you have some success under your belt, it gets easier and easier and easier, but you got to stick to it. And that model follows every business, everything there is, whether it's, going to the gym or, a real estate business, or you want to start a health club, anything. It's all the same. You,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
to really stick to the principles and do it every single day.
No, no, totally, totally. And thank you for that. And thank you for your time. It was like lovely talking to you, getting some
Pleasure.
advice, getting some points out and knowing your perspective. And I kind of think like same as you on, I mean, 99% of the scenarios, be it politics, be it the world generally, be it real estate. And I hope the wonders for you. And how many kids do you have?
I have two daughters.
Okay, you have two daughters. So
Two daughters, 18 and 20.
18 and 20. So I'm 21. So I mean basically my age.
Yeah.
Uh so I just hope the best for them. I hope the best for you. And it was nice, lovely talking to you. And you
Thank you. And I
may,
appreciate you having this
yeah,
podcast because it's great to keep sharing wisdom with people. So it's
no, no,
fantastic.
sure.
He has terrific questions and just get it out to the universe. Let's
No,
let it go. That's great.
no. Thank you. And once again, just thank you and have a nice day, sir.
You
Have a nice
too.
day.
Pleasure. Bye bye.
Bye bye.